when a project comes in, a potential project, you're feeling things out. How do you decide how to charge for that? Do you do fixed fee? Do you do hourly? And how do you figure out what a fair price is for that engagement? So, Michael, do you have a calculus for this? Do you have just a spreadsheet you plug it all into, or what's your process for making that decision?
Yeah, for the most part, for consultancy, usually it is fixed fee. I'm willing to do a fixed fee depending on what the artifact of the consultant, the engagement is, and usually that is some sort of analysis and recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've done a couple of those. I know what it takes, and I can kind of look at it and say, yeah, it's going to cost this much, And if it's a week's worth of work, okay, say it'll be 5K for the week. And if I have to work 30 hours, 40 hours, or 50 hours, that's kind of on me to offer the artifact of the engagement. If it's a contract, then I'll have to look at my hourly fee and negotiate with the client and usually come to an agreement there. But I mean, I try to be fair and understand their budgets and their needs and their constraints, but also understand that, hey, if I'm trying to do this and be interested in making some sort of profit from it, I'm not going to sell myself short either. So I usually like you say, spreadsheet, look at the work and figure out how many hours it may take, because that might be a little bit different, and then come up with a reasonable rate for that engagement.
Do you feel, Michael, that sometimes your inclination is to undercharge, where you're like, I don't know, it's probably worth this, but that makes me anxious. I'm gonna charge less and hope they don't get mad at me, or something like that?
No, not really. I mean, I want to. I guess I feel like I can back up my worth to say, hey, if you're paying me this rate and we agree to this sort of timeline, I'm going to meet it. I'm going to try to exceed it if I can, to show you the value of what you're paying for. But again, if I put my number out there and they're like, yeah, well, okay, well, let's negotiate. And if we can't come to an agreement, then, hey, maybe I can recommend you to somebody else that can, meet your price point. I don't ever want to just, like walk away as like, nah, I'm not going to even talk to you anymore. There's got to be something beneficial out of the, the interaction. Either I pick up the engagement and I go forward, or I walk away and they have a recommendation of somebody else that might be a better fit.
I asked you the question because just my personality is like, I want everyone to like me. So you don't, you go in being a little frightful about how much to charge. I don't want to charge too much. I don't want to cause a conflict, being conflict averse. But what I've learned is you have to charge enough that there's some pushback, or else you probably left money on the table. You're just giving your time away, selling yourself too cheaply. And what's the point of that?
There's a corollary to that as well. If you don't charge enough, then the client doesn't feel like they're getting their money's worth.
Yes.
They might think,
yes,
oh, he's charging so little because he's not that good.
Right.
Or, it's like when you give away something for free, people don't value it, but as long as you charge them something for it, now they've got skin in the game. You got to charge them enough so they feel like they got skin in the game, so they'll actually respond to you when you need things, because they're burning money by not responding to you. So yeah, it's so hard to walk. And Anthony, I feel like you're chomping at the bit to jump in. Go for it,
There's
dude.
8 things I want to bring up. So first off, I have like a checklist here. That customer that I told you that hired me as a consultant the first time, they let me set the rate. I set the rate. And since it was a bigger engagement, I set what I thought to be a lower rate, but it was a heck of a lot more money than I was making in salary. Right? But I had all the overhead and had to do all my own stuff, and with like retirement and all those things that's baked in. So the 2-year contract finishes, and I sheepishly go into the CIO's office, or VP of IS, and I'm like, hey, I'd like to raise my rate. And his response was, what took you so long?
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Because right. So he knew the landscape of consulting, because at that level, he's, juggling all his contracts and things. And I was just breaking in. And so I was like, lesson learned. And so the next year, what I did, to kind of go to what you were saying a second ago, Ethan, is I incrementally raised my rate for every new customer until I got pushback. And that's what I figured out my market value was.
Yes. Yep.
Now a corollary to that, and this kind of ties into some of the topics you were discussing, Michael, is this. if I have a whole bunch of customers now at like 7 different rates, and I have 2 or 3 at my top rate, who are you going to pay more attention to? Right? And that can be challenging. So then you have to level out. You really want to, and this is just because you want to treat everyone fairly and you want to treat everyone equally, but let's be serious, right? And so you want to kind of balance that out and make sure that you don't have this really wide range in rates because, you know, one, you're leaving revenue on the table, and two, that some people are going to get more or less of your attention. That's not good for you. It's not good for your customer. It's not good for business. So you really want to kind of keep those things tight. One of the things that I don't do is discount rates. So if someone buys a huge block of hours from me, I don't discount rates. So if they want my full rate in 40 hours and I only work 35, I just bill 35. That's basically the discount.